So, last night, two experiences, but let's talk about the big simulation experience in my mind. And my brother was there, I was there, and when I say my brother, someone masquerading as him. And um, we were in this house. It was roughly the layout of our dining room in Kenya, but like extended with a whole nother location. And I went to lock the door, I went to close the door, or check on the closed door, and see about the door being locked. And I looked, and the door wasn't locked, and it was open. I can't even say that it was open ajar, but there was space between the door and the wall there was a gap. So even if I would have locked it, there still would have been that gap for someone to put their hand through, above the lock or below the lock. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'll refilm this if I need to. And once that was registered for me to check the lock and for me to go over and be like, oh no, and then panic, this person on the other side popped out and he had a weapon. And then I was worried and I was like, oh shit, bro, we need to go. And so then he broke in, and, we were tussling. And then I was doing well and I grabbed this object to hit him with. And he was, coming at us. And my brother was at the other side of the room and then was by the door. And there was like a doorway without a door to the left, and he went out that way. And so then I was fighting him, and then out of nowhere, this man has a gun in his hand, like a big one. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So then I feel more fear, because I guess the fear that I was experiencing was not enough. I guess I just was not sweating enough. So they were like, let's add some more fear in this moment. So I'm like, oh, damn. And then I am, taking this pot, trying to hit him with it. Or it was an object similar to a pot. It was like a vase. And then he's in the corner of the room, and then he like grabs the gun and points at me, and I just sprinted out the doorway on my side. And then I was running down the hall to meet my brother. And then I was, doing some zigzags as I got closer to the door in an attempt to avoid the bullets. And he was just by the doorway, and then he was outside, and then I was outside. And then we were just kind of like, okay, well, what do we do now? And when I saw some, Caucasian people at the diagonal, if we were using time, let's say at between 10 and 11 o'clock. And there were houses, just staring, watching the event transpire, unfold. And then I ended up tussling with the guy outside, because he then came outside with his gun and was just chilling, and I was like, absolutely not. And so then I grabbed, because there were some plants outside for the vases, and I grabbed one of those and I hit him with it. And then I tried doing it again, but that didn't work. But that was the experience, and this being was tall and slim, fit, but I don't think this was, at first I thought this was just, someone programmed into the situation, but I think that might have literally been a program in this simulation. where I've experienced it before and I've seen, the like the creeper from Scooby Doo, or some other being, which may not uh, be a character from a TV show from my childhood or memory. But it's still out in these streets trying to get me, and it's this body that I've experienced before. But this is also the body that I've tapped into and I phased through. Like I used one of my abilities. But in this moment, I didn't even think about it. All of those codes being sent to my brain, definitely signals, had an effect, and I just kept pumping out fear and was sweating, energetically. But that was definitely one of just the simulations. If they're not making you sweat, if they don't believe you are sweating enough here in the physical, wow, they are going to do whatever they can to get that from you in the spiritual. When I say they, I mean all the oppressors, y'all already know. And that was the experience. I'm gonna end this on be kind to yourself, because I get up and I get in these moments and I'm like, damn, why first off did I choose to fight? And then why did I not choose to use my abilities? Because I'm having all of these signals sent to my brain. The person in that situation, first off, I said my brother, but it was not my brother. It was someone taking on the shape of my brother that is responding in a specific way. So I respond in a specific way. Like, what I mean by this is that they weren't the one to check the door to then have that experience happen. It was me. But there were also signals being sent to my brain in the astrals for that body of mine to respond with fight or flight, and then doing whatever they can to keep that energy at that level or increase it. So when they happen, be kind to it. When you start experiencing these things, be kind to yourself, because you got a lot going up against you. And the first step is becoming aware, There has definitely been times where this has happened in different, I've had different experiences with different people, different oppressors, but bottom line, still the same thing of getting me to sweat. And what has pulled me out of it one time has been me breathing, taking some deep breaths, and then changing the situation by asking a question. Bottom line, why are you doing this to me? And this one oppressor just froze, didn't know what to do. And they chose to compute in some programs of like police officers basically. And then I felt all these signals sent to my brain, and I got up. My body was responding based off of the signals that they were sending to me. Like, this was not me controlling my body. And I got up and I punched the air for whatever the reason. And then I was walking away. And once I got out of that room, I regained control and agency of my body. But when I said that, this one oppressor, this one spirit, totally different experience, but the spirit is of I'm gonna say fallen god, Latino man, and he just froze. And then after those beings were programmed into that moment, he hopped off of my avatar. And then I just started moving differently. But I mean, it's the same skeleton and same astral body, where there are these programs being sent, and then there's these signals being sent to my brain to respond in a specific way. And 9 times out of 10, I have. Just because there's so much going up against me in that moment, against us. I mean, how many of us even remember these experiences that are happening nightly, weekly? So, step one, become aware. Be kind to yourself. If there's anything I can offer besides being kind, it's taking deep breaths and focusing on meditation here and the choices you make here about how, when, let's say, you're in an argument with your housemates, how do you respond? How do you navigate that situation? Are you being heard? Are you making sure you get all of your points listed out and made? And then if they don't receive them, they don't receive them. How are you handling that? Or are you going into your fight or flight? This whole matrix in this physical is built and designed for us to land in that chakra. And then if we're not there, fighting or flying, us being in a state of depression, sadness, fear, anger, contempt, so that we can have all of that negative energy built up and have our astral bodies more susceptible to these experiences, and there be a greater likelihood of us responding in these ways, and us not having that agency of our bodies that are technology here and in the astral. So this is the experience I had, but again, I've said it a few times, but I'm just gonna reiterate because it is so important. Be kind to yourself. You are where you are. Today is today, and it's a new day. Get some sunlight, treat yourself to some food, and I just want to say, peace is coming. Balance is being restored into the realm. And I'm going to end it with, sending peace and courage to all the Atlantean, Nine Ether being Anunnakis. I'll see y'all on the next one.